Mir had always been afraid of the dark. Not the kind of fear children have, the kind that fades with age and logic, but something deeper, quieter, something that stayed. As a child, he would wake up at night and notice something strange. The shadow on his wall didn't always move the way it should. When he raised his hand, it followed, but sometimes, just for a second longer than it should. Sometimes it twitched when he was still. He told his mother once. "It's just your imagination," she said gently, pulling the blanket over him. "Shadows can't hurt you." Amir wanted to believe her. So he did what most people do, he ignored it. Years passed. He grew up, went to school, made friends, built a life. The fear faded into the background, becoming nothing more than a strange childhood memory. Something he would laugh about occasionally, until the night it came back. Amir was 27 when he moved into his new apartment. It was small but comfortable, tucked into a quiet part of the city. The first few nights were peaceful. Then, one evening, while working late under the dim light of his desk lamp, he noticed something. His shadow was facing the wrong direction. He froze. Slowly, he raised his hand. His shadow followed. But then, it stopped. Amir's heart began to pound. He lowered his hand, but the shadow didn't. It stayed raised for a moment longer, before slowly dropping on its own. That night, he didn't sleep. Over the next few days, the occurrences became more frequent. Subtle at first. A delay. A twitch, a movement that didn't belong to him. Then, it got worse. One night, he turned off the lights and headed to bed. As he passed the hallway mirror, he glanced at his reflection and saw his shadow standing still while he was still moving. He spun around. Nothing. Just darkness. "Get a grip," he muttered to himself. "You're imagining things again." But deep down, he knew. This wasn't imagination. The breaking point came a week later. Amir woke up at 3:17 a.m., his room bathed in faint streetlight. Something felt wrong. He sat up slowly, and then he saw it. His shadow was on the wall across the room. But it wasn't lying down. It was standing, watching him. Amir couldn't breathe. His body refused to move as the shadow tilted its head, an unnatural, deliberate motion. Then it stepped forward. Not across the floor, but across the wall, closing the distance. Amir finally screamed, stumbling back, knocking over his lamp. The room plunged into darkness. For a moment, there was nothing. Silence. Stillness. Then, the light flickered back on. The shadow was gone. Everything was normal. Too normal. Shaking, Amir sat there for hours, waiting for anything to happen again. It didn't. Days passed. Then weeks. Nothing. No strange movements. No unnatural delays. No standing shadows. Eventually, life returned to normal. Or at least, it seemed to. Until one evening, as Amir sat with a group of friends, laughing over dinner, someone made a joke. "Everyone has a dark side," his friend said. "Something they can't escape." Amir smiled faintly. But something about those words lingered. That night, he stood in front of his mirror again. He stared at himself, at his reflection, at the faint shadow cast behind him. Everything looked normal. Perfectly normal. Too normal. Then, he smiled, but his reflection didn't, and behind him, his shadow slowly raised its hand.